Hey guys, welcome to the call. And today I'm going to go over Humatar, which is the human synthesis studio that everybody's been probably hammering your email inbox with. And I'm not going to do that. I just want to show you some training. I bought the product and I got that first upsell. And I like human avatars. They're a little bit better than the cartoon avatars. The voices are getting a lot better, but they don't have the pausing and emphasis like the Paul Pona's product did. And you're going to see a lot more of these avatars in marketing and other products. So what I want to do is I want to show you how to take these avatars and really add some products, add some video editing tricks to it so that you can give it a better appearance when you drop it in Facebook or YouTube, and don't rely on somebody clicking the audio button. So you're going to have subtitles, and you want to make these very, you want to use some transition effects that you saw in the demo earlier. And the reason is these bots are kind of boring. They don't have a lot of hand movement or things like that with it. And of course, I'm shooting in front of a green screen, so I have to keep my hand movements to a minimal. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go into the synthesis IO, which is this Humatar. And I'm going to show you how to build them. They take a little bit longer than normal time right now because it's during launch to render. So I've rendered a few of them, and then I'll show you. Here's what the next steps I do to make these things, make these videos so that you can drop them anywhere, and they've got good subtitles, they've got some transition effects and some animations to go with it. It's pretty easy to do, but you're giving it a little bit better chance of somebody watching it all the way through if you take that little extra step. And if you've been following me, you probably got the tools already. I'm going to use Camtasia Studio, the new 2021, and I'm also going to use Happy Scribe. And Happy Scribe it's one of the AppSumo products, and it does transcriptions, but it also does subtitles, and it does a really good job on subtitles. And then we'll render them out, and you can kind of see the before and after effects of it. So let's get started, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. So what you see here is the human synthesis studio, and they call them Humatars because they're humans and they're filmed in front of a green screen, and then they use a program like a Crazy Talk Animator. There's an API version for it. So this is how they've made them into talking voices. It's pretty slick trick that they're doing. Some of them look better than the others because the green screen cuts on them. Some of them are, I would say they look more robotic. So here's what you can do is once you're in, there's a filter, so you can look at just male, you can look at female. And if you see this and you don't see all of the characters, it's because I bought that OTO1, which gives you a lot more characters, a lot more voices. And I highly recommend, if you haven't bought it, click the link below and grab it. I'll get a little affiliate commission on it through my link. It's no problem. I still want you to learn how to add to these Humatar videos so that they will be usable and that people will watch them all the way through. So that looks pretty good. Now let's go in and give it a name. So I'm just going to call it conversion AI demo training. Okay. Now let's look at the profile. If you do this, the middle, it's a medium shot. This is more, it's same medium shot, but it makes it smaller. So you have more room to write, you have more room to demo a product or anything like that. When it's smaller like this, it makes it a little bit harder to detect if it's a bot. So keep that in mind. Now, me personally, if I'm going to do a talking head, I'm going to do a full screen like this, middle center, middle right. And some of them are going to have top, but you're not going to need that. And here's the cool thing. If you just want a voice only, it's going to take it completely away, and it will use these real human voices to voice over a script for you, which is a kind of nice little feature if you want to do some different things like I wouldn't say testimonials, but stories, things that you can promote. You can also do the circle. That's when you're going to get the top left, center, top right. You need a title, you need a description, and you need to choose the person. And then you need to choose the language. So here's all the different languages you have. I'm going to go ahead and select English. And then you get to sample the voices.
This is a demo of the voice you have selected.
This is a demo of the voice you have. This is a demo of the voice.
It kind of gives you a little short commentary about what the voice is. So I'm looking for maybe, let's go with.
This is a demo of the.
Okay, so I'm going to choose Claire. And then you want to play the script that we put in there. But before you do that, let's give her a background. Now they have some images that's included in here. And they have a little bit of a blur on there. I don't necessarily know if it's almost too much of a blur. This one's not bad, but a blur helps that the fringing around the person. So this is not bad to do. You could do a transcript on top of this. Let's see, what else? Here's one. It's not too bad. And I kind of like this one because you've got some things that you could put. You can put your transcripts here. You could, do some doodling here, whatever you want. So anyway, it's something to consider. Now, if you do bottom left, it's to me, as I don't really like that. If I'm gonna have a spokesperson, let's have a spokesperson in there. So now here's the cool thing is you can add your own images. So I have some images I'm going to place in there, and I kind of like this, but I'm going to move her over here. So this is an image. It's a static image. Let's choose another one. So okay, this looks pretty good. So she could be like an attorney talking about some legal services that she provides. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, let's do middle. Okay. So she's talking about or she's at her coffee bar. This looks pretty good. Now I'm going to test the playlist. So you can do static images. And here's the cool thing is you can actually put, and we'll come back and use this image here. You can put videos in there. Now they don't have any good videos. I don't think these are just kind of cheesy, but it gives you a good place to put transcripts in there. So keep that in mind. Now, I don't know when you would use that or when you would use that one. I mean, that's fire. I don't know where they come up with these or why they even, and I think with the OTO2, you're going to get some new video backgrounds. But I bought some backgrounds on AppSumo called virtual backgrounds, and I love them. And here's one with a waterfall. It's kind of cool. Let's see. And she could be on a spaceship. Let's put her on a spaceship here. So you can kind of see there's going to be a little shuttle that comes across here. But this is, just you play around with it. You can add your own videos. I would highly recommend grabbing the little special on AppSumo. This is the one that I'm using right now. And so this is not bad here. Let's see. So you got the ocean back here. She's in an office. This is pretty decent. Okay. So anyway, once you're ready to go, then you would hit play script. So what this does is it just renders the audio portion so you can test it and make sure everything's working right. Now, there is some modification you can do on the script to give it a little bit of spacing.
I was only out of the office for a couple days, but I could tell something had changed. It seemed like everyone in the office was visibly relieved when I walked through the door. Is everything okay? I asked. I feel like there's been some big change during my absence. The smile on my employee's face told me that it wasn't anything too serious.
Okay, so what you can do is the comma gives it a little bit more the pause in the middle. So what I'll do is I'll try that, put a little commas there, and let's just pull this down, make it easier. Now, you can add a soundtrack. I'll go back in here and show you, create your avatar. So you can add a soundtrack right here, but for some reason they only have 4 soundtracks. And since I know I'm going to take it to Camtasia Studio, I'm going to actually use audio tracks that I have in Camtasia. A lot more flexibility. I can do fade-ins, raise and lower the gain on the background music. So I'm going to do it without a soundtrack whenever I hit create video. They'll sit here and they'll tell you the status, and it says in about an hour. Sometimes they're 20 minutes. Sometimes they take the full hour, especially if you got multiple slides. They're going to take an hour, hour and a half to render out. But when they're ready, you would just hit download, or you can copy and do another one. You can, of course, delete it, or you can get a shareable link. So here's the result.
There may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be. That's when you have to tell yourself that things will get better. There are times when people disappoint you and let you down.
Okay, so this looks pretty good. The only problem is when it's in Facebook, most people have their audio turned off. So they're just going to scroll right by this, and you just wasted your time. But by having a little bit of animation in here, this actress, she looks pretty good. There's not a lot of defringing going on, except maybe right where the arms are. You can see a little bit of a green there. And this was not too bad. And she does have some hand movements, which I kind of like in that. Now, let me show you what I did. Was I ran it through Happy Scribe. And let's go into Happy Scribe. And you can hit play.
There may be days when you get...
And you see them over here. So what I did, I went into Format Titles. I uploaded the script. Or all I did was I uploaded the video, and then it rendered, and it did a pretty good job of taking the script and putting it into a subtitle. So I didn't even do anything else to it. But what I did, I changed the size. I moved it up. I got an outline around it, and you can kind of move it up, move it down. You can do left justify, which puts it on the left screen. Center is right in the middle. But I'm going to do right justify. I'm going to use the spot in the lower right corner. Okay, and you can change the size. And once you're happy with it, hit save. Now, if you want to go in, this is some advanced features inside of Happy Scribe where you can do 1 line, 2 lines, or 3 lines. And you can moderate how wide you want it. So let's just say I want it maybe 36 characters on the line. And they have some advanced settings here: minimum subtitle duration, maximum subtitle, and you can reprocess it. So what it will do is it'll take all the text that it just transcribed and rearrange it for you based on these settings that you have. And then you can just play it.
There may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be. That's when you have to tell yourself that things will get better.
Okay. So what I would typically do on this is I would maybe come over here and make the letters a little bit smaller. Hit save. I'm going to edit the subtitle. Let's go ahead and use 3 lines. See what it looks like. Okay. That may be a little too long, but
you must remind yourself to trust your own judgments and opinions, to keep your life focused on believing in yourself.
Okay, so that looks pretty good. So now I'm in Happy Scribe. I've done all my subtitles. I've got room to see it. So as somebody is watching this on Facebook or YouTube, they don't have to have the audio on at all, but they can see a talking person, and then that's going to encourage them to turn on the audio. But if they don't turn on the audio at all, they're still using the subtitles. Now, what I do is I just hit download and download videos. And let's expand it out a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some transitions, and 2021 Camtasia, that's what they're really, they added a huge amount of transitions, and they're really professional there, but it gives it some effects that you would see in Adobe Premiere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a split in the timeline where I want a transition to go. So at the very beginning, I'm going to do an intro fade in, but I'm going to do a fade through black into it. So let's go into transitions, and I'm doing a fade through black. So I'm just going to put it right here at the very beginning.
There may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be.
Okay, that's the end of the sentence. Everything changed, so I'm going to put a split right in there.
That's when you have to tell yourself that things will get better.
Okay, there's another split. Select that timeline.
There are times when people disappoint you and let you down, but those are the times when you must remind yourself to trust your own judgments and opinions to keep your life focused on believing in yourself.
Okay, let's come back. We didn't have a sentence break, but I'm going to put one right there. Okay, so there's another one right there. Now, here's some fades in here, and I love these little flares. So let's see what they look like. We've got a fade in here, and you can kind of preview what they look like. So they're going to flash the screen a little bit. So I'm going to put one there, and then the glitch there's a real good glitch effect in here. It's a little too much. So I'm going to put the glitch effect right there. And here's, I like this luminous fade in that one. And then there's a morph right here. So I'm just going to use that one and do a random dissolve right here. Okay. Now, I want to put some audio behind it also. So I've got some in my library. I've got audio tracks here. Let's see. That's one I've used a lot. That's too much. I'll just go ahead and use that right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut it right here at the end. So I hit S for splitting it. And then let's add in some audio effects. And do a fade in and a fade out. And I'm going to take that down to about maybe 20, 30% in there. Okay. Now I'm going to save as Believe in Yourself. And I'll put in here with music, Happy Scribe, and transitions. And I'll hit save. Yeah, I'm going to record it at 720 is what I'm pulling. You're getting it 1280 by 720 when it's coming down off of the Humatars. So let's export. I'm going to keep it at the same resolution. Go back to 720, hit finish, and finish. Because it's already rendered as an MP4, it re-renders fairly quickly.
There may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be. That's when you have to tell yourself that things will get better. There are times when people disappoint you and let you down, but those are the times when you must remind yourself to trust your own judgments and opinions to keep your life focused on believing in yourself. There may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be. That's what.
Okay, so I noticed that some of the transitions weren't really working very well. So I'm going to take that and because we had the same background, that luminance fade in didn't work very well. So let's go to transitions, and I did like the morph, that looked pretty good, but I'm going to do some wipes. So I will do one I really like is the bar wipe. And that's a random dissolve. And let's do a blur. Actually, let's do a radial. I like this circle drop. And I'm going to hit reverse. Actually, leave it right there. We're going to save it. I'm going to export it and just write over what I just had. So that's the beauty about doing this, is you get to do it a few times. But putting in this little bit of extra effort is going to get those videos watched all the way through. I mean, they're short videos. You're not going to have more than a minute or two
There may
of talking.
be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be. That's when you have to tell yourself that things will get better. There are times when people disappoint you and let you down. But those are the times when you must remind yourself to trust your own judgments and opinions, to keep your life focused on believing in yourself. There may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you had hoped they would be.
Okay, it just kind of repeats itself. So that's all it takes to do this. Just put in a little bit of extra effort. What I did was I rendered it out from the Humatars, and I sent it to Happy Scribe, had it translated, and I fixed the subtitles so they fit in exactly where I wanted them to. Rendered it again, and then put it into Camtasia Studio. Now in Camtasia Studio, you saw where I took the timeline and I did splits. That's where I wanted my transitions to go. And I've tried out a bunch of these transitions. Some of them are really good. I really like the glow effect on the transitions. And just find the ones that you like, just to make the story go through. What this does is it psychologically, it's a trick that you're using, that every 2 to 3 seconds you're changing a scene. That's what they do in videos, and what they do in movies and in TV is it's never a long scene where somebody's just reading a script. And although we're using this as a long scene, we're going to cut it up and use the transitions to help make it interesting to watch. And hopefully you like this. Definitely put subtitles on it. That's the biggest deal I could recommend when you get these, because a lot of people are not going to listen to your message on Facebook or YouTube if they have to turn on the audio. Okay, so I'll see you on another training video. And again, if you haven't got this and you're interested in doing some of these, take a look at it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you some of the demos of the ones that I've already done myself. So I'm just going to play a few of them so you can take a look at them. Now, this one was Super Soldiers. This was a little script I had for Memorial Day that I was going to use. So let's see what it looks like. And it's about 45 seconds long. So let's take a look at it. My demo's here.
Throughout our history, there have been many attempts to create a super soldier, faster, stronger, more intelligent, more resistant to injuries, etc. Attempts have been made using both technology and medical sciences. Hollywood filmmakers like to make science fiction movies depicting both the successes and failures of such experiments. I am sure each of us can think of several examples.
Okay. This is okay. He's kind of boring. I'm not doing a lot of the transitions that I should be doing in here. So you can kind of see the difference. When you got some good transitions in here, it does
Like
kind of...
the Universal Soldier series, the Bourne series, to name a couple. The basic premise is that we need to come...
It may get a little boring watching, is what I'm saying, is use those transitions. It does make a big difference. Let's talk about, here's one I did. Finish. And this one is using Happy Scribe.
I was one of the few people left in this world who still wanted to be on camera, and I could tell that there were more and more avatars. I was one of the few people left in this world who still wanted to be on camera, and I could tell that there were more and more avatars popping up. We all know what they're like, always standing there, barely moving when you talk to them, and often looking a little too perfect for their own good. It's just not natural. So last night I decided to take a break from my show so someone else could control me for a while. I logged off as soon as it started recording no sense in having two of me running around at once, then took off my headset and went out into the living room. The light was already set low with some nice piano music playing quietly in the background. I was one of the few people left in the...
Okay, what I did at the end was do fade through black, and in this, you can see some of the glow effects and some of the, I did a dissolve wipe going across. I'm trying out different transitions with it. She's kind of boring, but if you have those every 2 to 3 seconds, just do a transition cut in here. If you didn't have the subtitles and you want to take the subtitles, you could actually do a crop in and leave the subtitles off for that frame. Now you would have to go into Happy Scribe and not show that section of the subtitles. So anyway, there's a lot of different options. If you've been with us for this long on VidPenguin, you know that there's a lot of different things that you can do with the video. So I want you to take that first step. If you've got Humatar, don't leave it just like they rendered, send it to you. Put some subtitles in there. And here's the last one I did, and I wanted to show it again. This is what you probably came in off of Facebook for. And
imagine life as a game in which you are juggling some 5 balls in the air. You name them work, family, health, friends, and spirit, and you're keeping all of these in the air. If work is a rubber ball and you drop it, it will bounce back. But the other 4 balls, family, health, friends, and spirit, are made of glass. If you drop one of these, they will shatter. You must understand that and strive for balance in your life. Here are just a few ideas to help you along that path. Don't undermine your worth by comparing yourself with others. It is because we have...
Okay, if you noticed on this is a static image background. I showed you that, you know, those whiteboards you can do some things with. I've got some transition cuts that look really nice with this. This guy, when they did the green screen, it's too hard to cut on there. So they should have left a little bit of fringing in there so that it would blend into maybe a white background or a gray background. So a little tough on the green screen. It just doesn't match up really well. But because the background is kind of blurred, it helps this character out. I tried them on some video backgrounds that had a sharp background in focus, and it just didn't look good. So this one looks really good on a blurred static background. Now, the point is I don't think they're going to be definitely watching or listening to this guy, but because I have the subtitles right in the middle and it's on a whiteboard with the black letters on a white background, they're going to be reading this. Now, this was actually a motivational graduation deal. That it's the shortest motivational speech in graduation history. So anyway, I'll play the rest of it for you. It's really pretty good as far as the content of the script. But again, highly suggest put subtitles in with these Humatars.
Different that each of us is special. Don't set your goals by what other people deem important. Only you know what is best for you. Don't take for granted the things closest to your heart. Cling to them as you would your life. But without them, life is meaningless. Don't let your life slip through your fingers by living in the past or for the future. By living your life one day at a time, you live all the days of your life. Don't give up when you still have something to give. Nothing is really over until the moment you stop trying. Don't be afraid to encounter risks. It is by taking chances we learn how to be prepared. Don't run through life so fast that you forget not only where you've been, but also where you're going. Don't forget, a person's greatest emotional need is to feel appreciated. And don't be afraid to learn. Knowledge is weightless, a treasure you can always carry easily. This was by Brian Dyson, the former CEO of Coca-Cola, as a commencement address at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Imagine life as a game in which you are juggling some...
Now I'm going to show you one last thing that you could do that would be a pretty cool effect. And I haven't tried it, but I'm going to do it live here on the call. You wanted to put your own background on there with some different transition, different scenes. Well, because you have Camtasia, what if we did this? I'm going to go in here to synthesis and see that one's ready to go. Create your AI video. And we'll pull this lady down. Okay. And let's give her middle left. And what I'm going to do is put colors in there. I'm going to do a green screen color without a soundtrack and put a short script in there. So again, I'm just going to go to Conversion AI just to pull one. Okay, that looks pretty decent. So let's pick a good voice. English, choose your AI voice.
This is a demo of the voice.
This is a demo.
And let's go down to.
This is a demo of the voice you have.
This is a demo of the voice you have selected.
Okay, I like that one. Hit play script.
Bubbles is really excited to speak with the boy, but when she stands in front of him, he's too shy to talk. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a small puppet that looks like herself. "Hi," says the Bubbles puppet. The boy smiles and
Now I'll pause this Zoom call for a little bit and let this thing render out. What we're going to be doing is putting some different slide backgrounds behind this character because we're using a green screen to do this. And by doing this is you can do product demos and you can show different things on the product itself. But because this is just a demo, I just wanted to show you how to cut the green screen out with these Humatars. It has a lot of uses, especially if you're going to be doing screen cuts with it and doing transcripts. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas on how you could do this to get a 2-camera look. Okay, so I'll see you in a second.